What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video. Lot 237 over at Hakes auction ended last night, and I'm going to put together two different videos covering some of the really incredible items that sold in this auction. This was definitely one of their best. I could not believe some of the items that were for sale, and the prices did not disappoint. Let me tell you, there were, as you can see by this thumbnail, we had a first shot prototype R2-D2 with a silkscreen decal. We had a double telescoping Luke, double telescoping Obi-Wan Kenobi. We had a bunch of different Japanese poppies that sold. And of course, we had the Toll Toys Australian exclusive mint on card vinyl cape Jawa. And we did have a contest going for that one, so I need to look up who won that one. But we'll dig into all of these items and much, much more in this video. We'll take a break for tomorrow to do some market update for the vintage collection, and then the next day we'll do part 2 of the Hakes auction results. So as always, thanks to my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate you guys. You guys really help out a lot. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go. Let's start with what is considered one of the rare ones that was in this auction. The Facebook chatter on this one was pretty incredible, and just about every heavy hitter collector said that this is as rare as it gets. And this was a first shot prototype R2-D2 from 1978 with a silk screen decal as well as a variety for the legs. Let's see what it says here. The first shot features a leg variety that was not produced for the final production toy line, as well as a large non-production screw on the underside / interior. And then, of course, it had the silkscreen decal. And here is the label on this one. Silkscreen decal first shot, and it was graded 80 by AFA, and it did come with a CIB. The value code, now for Hakes, they always kind of give a general range of where they think the item's going to sell, and the value code on this one was $10,000 to $20,000, and all the prices I'm going to quote in this video are the winning bids plus the buyer's premium. As I've talked about in past videos, Hakes charges an 18% buyer's premium on top of whatever you bid. So you have to keep that in mind when you bid on Hakes. And I bought from Hakes before. I bought in this auction. I bought one item in this auction. So keep in mind that you do have to pay 18% plus packing and shipping and things like that. The winning bid on this one was $22,066. So it went about 10% above the high value code estimate from Hakes. And, you know, just like I said, everyone I talked to on Facebook that knows their stuff when it comes to these early pre-production items, they said this was as rare as it gets, and the price did not disappoint. Next up, a fairly common one, but this is the Hollow Cheeks Tuscan Raider. It was graded AFA 85. I was curious to see where this one would close up because it had the older case style. So it didn't even have the dowels around the neck, and it was just kind of wedged inside. So this is the earliest of the early AFA cases with the kind of little piece that holds the weapon to the side. So I was curious because the value code was 700 to 1,000. I thought there was no way it would reach that, and I was right. It came in at 501.50 with the buyer's premium. So I think that's about fair. Even though it is an AFA 85, AFA is closed right now. So if you wanted to send this back in to get recased, you can't right now. So, you know, you have to live with kind of the older kind of rudimentary case style that AFA used to use. But 501.50, I think that's a great buy. I mean, to me, for an AFA 85 Hollow Cheeks Tuscan Raider, old case or not, you know, we just talked about one, I believe, on the channel that sold at auction. That was a UKG 90, and that one sold for, after expenses and the global shipping program, for me to buy it, it would have been like $900. So this was a much better deal, and I certainly would have been interested in that one if I had not managed to land the one that I wanted. But really, really awesome item. We got the two double telescoping saber figures that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. This is an AFA 80 telescoping Luke, and the value code was 1,000 to 2,000. The final winning bid with the buyer's premium was 1713. We've seen them go for more than that on eBay in auctions. I've seen as high as $2,500 for an AFA 80 double telescoping Luke. So I think that price was very, very fair, well below some of the prices I've seen on eBay. So there are some good deals to be had. Now, I know that's not cheap for most collectors, including myself, but to me, that was a really good buy. Archival case, beautiful figure. The big one was this one. This is the double telescoping Ben Kenobi AFA 80 Plus. and the value code was 10 to 20. I knew that was too low. If you guys remember from my preview video for this auction, I said I wouldn't be surprised if this hits $25,000 or more. It came in at $24,660. I think that price again was very fair. There was one on Facebook that sold, away from eBay, that sold for, I believe, I'm going on memory, but I believe it was $28,000 for an AFA 80. So for an AFA 80 plus double telescoping Obi-Wan Kenobi, $24,660 after the buyer's premium. That's even less than what people are paying on Facebook. So I think that was a beautiful item and a very fair price for what is a holy grail for many collectors. Next up, we had that amazing proof card. This is a 12-back A proof card for the Tuscan Raider, where the long play logo was airbrushed out. So you can see very clearly that this portion of the cape on the card back, it doesn't look the same as the rest. It was airbrushed in to cover up the long play logo. And so that's a pretty incredible item. It was AFA 80 qualified airbrush non-LP mock-up. So it was just an example of how Kenner was going to show these figures on the 12 and 20 backs without the long play logo. And so it's pretty rare, obviously. The value code was 10 to 20. It came in at the upper end, 19,572 for a really awesome kind of pre-production early 12-back. Next up was a 12-back A Princess Leia, graded AFA 80. The subscores were 80, 80, 75. The value code was 2,000 to 5,000. It came at 21.41. I thought that price was very fair for a 12-back A Leia. High grade. It was punched with no price sticker, but a pretty incredible item, and I thought that was a bargain deal relative to even to some of the things we've seen on eBay. I've seen a few 12-back A's on eBay for Leia that have sold for $2,500 plus. And so I think that 21.41 was very fair. Next up was an incredible 12-back B Darth Vader archival case graded AFA 85 plus. Good luck finding another one of these. You'll never see this. I mean, that high of a grade for an early 12-back is very tough to do, and the value reflected that. It came in well above the high estimate from Hakes at $5,841. But look at this beautiful, beautiful Darth Vader. I mean, that's as good as it gets right there. I mean, it looks factory fresh, case fresh, and just an incredible piece of history there. 85 plus for a 12-back. I don't know if I've ever seen an 85 plus for a 12-back before, but wow, what an incredible item, and the price did not disappoint whatsoever. Here was another one I had on my watch list because I don't have a 20-back for R5D4. This is the 20-back G. This was graded AFA 80. The subscores were 80, 80, 85. I thought that was a great-looking item. I knew the value code was too low. The value code was $700 to $1,000. I was thinking more like $1,500. It came in at $1,601. So probably a price I would have paid if I had not won the item that I did. It was kind of probably third in line in terms of the items I was watching. But it just couldn't make it happen. I can't buy everything, and this one had to go by the wayside. And it's not particularly hard to find either. You know, I tried to target items that you're not going to see very often with the amount of money that I had still left over in my PayPal from some massive sales I did on Rogue 5 toys over the last couple of months. And this one was in the range for what I was willing to spend. But the way I looked at it was stick with rarity first. The items that are fairly easy to find, like a 20-back G R5D4, I've seen 2 or 3 of these sell within the last month or two on eBay. So to me, I'd rather put my money, what little I had left in my PayPal, towards an item that I'm not going to find very regularly. So I thought that it was nice, but kind of lower on the totem pole in terms of my kind of want list. Next up was a 12-inch series Princess Leia AFA 85. That's about as good as you're going to find for the 12-inch series. You know, very rarely do you find these in an AFA 85 condition because of that flap. I mean, this is like a 40-plus-year-old item, and those flaps are going to get bent. That's just part of the deal. But this one was in pretty incredible shape. 80, 85, 90 were the subscores on this 12-inch Leia. And it sold for $3,374, kind of right in the middle of the value code of $2,000 to $5,000 from Hakes. But another beautiful item there. Next up was the Toll Toys Vinyl Cape Jawa. It was only a graded AFA 50, but there's only 5 examples mint on card known to exist. And the value code was $35,000 to $50,000. I think in my preview, I was expecting it to sell for $22,000, and I was laughing because I had no idea what this is worth. When it's one of 5 in the world, you just have no idea what you're going to get with this. But obviously a lot of creasing, that's why I got the AFA 50, but you're dealing with rarity here. This is one of 50 that exist, or excuse me, one of 5 that exists in the world. The card got a 50, blister 80, figure 70. Those Toll Toys vinyl Cape Jawas are known to degrade pretty easily, and that's why it got the 70. Even loose graded, they're very, very tough to find high grade. But anyway, the value code was $35,000 to $50,000. It came at the upper end, $49,324. I'll find out. I'll go back and watch my preview video and look at the comments to see who was closest without going over. And I'll reach out to you to get your mailing address for the small gift I've got for you. But $35,000 to $50,000 for a mint on card Toll Toys vinyl Cape Jawa, and it came in at the very, very upper end of that range at $49,000 plus. Wow, what an incredible item. This is another beautiful item. This was an unpainted first shot prototype IG-88, graded AFA 80 plus, and that's a beauty. It's tough to find Empire Strikes Back prototypes for whatever reason. They always go for big money. Oftentimes they can go for more money than some of the first 12 or first 20 figures, like the Cantina Aliens. Those are fairly easy to find in prototype format. But for whatever reason, the Empire Strikes Back figures are very tough to find in prototype format. And so this one sold for $7,139 after the buyer's premium. But a pretty incredible prototype, completely unpainted. How cool is that? I would love to have owned that. But unless I win the lottery, that is not something I'm ever going to get. But what an incredible prototype. Next up was that awesome proof card. This is that Lobot proof card graded 90 plus. This is for the 45 back Star Wars Display Arena offer. Unpunched and a 90 plus. How does anyone hold a proof card from 1981 and keep it in such condition that it stays a 90 plus grade? That is just unbelievable to me. It's mind blowing. And the sales price was pretty good, I thought. $2,855. To me, I'd pay that. You know, if I had the money to pay that, I would pay that all day long because that's as high graded. I can guarantee you that this is probably the highest graded one on the AFA population report. There's probably not many of them that exist, period, much less than a 90 plus grade. So I bet it's the highest graded one. And 2,800 and change, I think that's very fair. I thought this was the steal of the auction. And again, it was on my watch list. I was thinking about it pretty hard, but again, it comes back to rarity. And this one was not particularly rare, but it was very high grade. It was a beautiful 21 back transition card Leia with the secret Star Wars action figure offer for Bosk, the Bosk mail away. It was gorgeous. I mean, it was punched, but you know, the subscores were 80, 80, 85, and it had an archival case, and it came in below the low end of the value code. With the buyer's premium, it sold for $909. I thought that was a bargain. An absolute bargain. Whoever got that, congratulations. That was, to me, one of the steals of this auction. There were a few others, don't get me wrong, but this to me was a great buy. And I would have paid that all day long. I probably would have paid closer to $1,200 to $1,500, to be honest with you. So if you got that for $909, congratulations. And on that note, leave in the comments if you guys bid on Hakes, if you won anything, or if you didn't. I would love to hear from you on your experience. I've always had a great experience on Hakes. I think they do a fantastic job of not only marketing sellers' items, but they're fair. And you know, the prices for the most part I think were pretty fair in this auction. And I'm really happy. I bought from them. This is my 3rd time buying from Hakes now, and my last 2 purchases were very, very, very fair prices. They did a great job packing them, and I've just always been very happy with the quality of the auctions at Hakes. But let me know if you bought anything. This is another steal of a deal. This was a 31 back A Han Solo. This is the debut card for Han Solo Hoth. Clear blister, AFA 80. It was punched. It sold for $778 after the buyer's premium. That is a bargain, an absolute bargain of a deal. And this goes back to the strategy I talk about on my channel, whether it's on eBay where there's big lots from one seller, or on Hakes especially, when there's ultra rare items. If you don't want to bid on those, or you don't want to feel like spending that kind of money, but you have some money that you think you want to buy something, target the more common items, because everyone's overlooking them. Everyone is overlooking these kind of, this is a debut card for Han Solo, clear blister, and high grade, and it sold for $778 after the buyer's premium. That is a steal of a deal. So that's a really good buy, and it's a strategy that you should employ if you're not wed to getting some big ultra rare expensive item, look at some of these other kind of tertiary and quad, stuff that's way down the list in terms of rarity. You can get some great deals, and that's certainly one of them. This was a beautiful one. It was only an AFA 70, but this is the dark brown hair Luke Farm Boy on the 41 back E. I thought this was a great price, $10.38. Again, it's low grade. It's a 70 grade, but it's a clear blister, and it's the very dark brown hair, kind of chocolate brown hair Luke Farm Boy. Very tough to find this one, and even ungraded, they can sell for a pretty penny. So I think that was a really good buy too at $1,038. Let's dig into the poppies. Chris S. is the seller for all of these poppies. He made a post on Facebook how he had to sell these because of some health issues. So Chris, I hope you get better. But he had a collection of high-grade Japanese poppies that were pretty incredible. And I think there was 13 of the 15 that were in the line. Don't quote me on that. He might have had all of them in there, but I didn't pull up all of them. But I wanted to show some of the highlights. This was an AFA 85 Japanese poppy Boba Fett, and look how beautiful this box art is. They came in little boxes in the Japanese market, along with these inserts, and then a baggie that had the figure inside. And this one sold for the most out of all the different Japanese poppies that were for sale in this auction. $8,523. The value code was 5 to 10K. It was an AFA 85. Clearly Boba Fett's always in demand, but $8,500 is a lot of money for a poppy, but that one was a beauty. The AFA 85 Vader, that one sold for $4,130. Another one I would love to have, but I knew that would go well above anything I could afford. Any of the main characters you're going to be paying big money for. There were some, though, that were very reasonable, that were first 12 figures. And they kind of closed. I didn't pull up all of them, but some of them sold kind of $1,100 to $1,600 was kind of the going rate for most of them. The Luke Bespin was graded AFA 85, and that one sold for $2,076. Next up was this is the one I really wanted. Okay, I wanted this one really bad. I made an effort at it. I put my highest and best bid as the clock was winding down on it, but I was outbid, and so I couldn't make it happen. But this is the R5D4 Japanese poppy, and what's unique about this one is that the Poppy Corporation included this little apology note inside the box for the R5D4, apologizing for mislabeling the character's name on the box. So basically in Japanese it says, "We're sorry, this character is not correctly labeled. His character name is not labeled. We're sorry." So I thought that made that an incredibly cool item. The fact that the company included this apology note and it was encased inside the AFA case along with the typical contents. And obviously I love R5D4. I've got a pretty good run going, of R5D4s. It's not massive by any means, but I thought it would have been an awesome addition to my collection. And it was graded AFA 85, straight 85s for the subscores. And I made a very, very hard go at it, and I was outbid on it. I had my number in mind going into this auction. This was my number one item that I wanted, and I came up with the number that I was willing to pay. And, for those that know me, they all knew that I said leading into the final hours of the auction, it's like, there's no way I'm going to get it, but I'm going to make an effort at it. And I did come close, I'll say that. I came pretty close on it after the buyer's premium, but I think there was one or two bids that were higher than mine, and it sold for $2,011. So I couldn't make it happen, as I've talked in the past. Balosh from Raiders of the Lost Ark, it was not meant to be, Sherry, and I'm okay with that. I was at peace with it, but I at least made my best and final offer because I don't like to go into debt when I'm buying collectibles right now. The economy is too dicey for me. So I had what I had in my account, and it was either going to happen or it wasn't, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. But I did get a really good item, so I'm not sad. But I would love to have had that Poppy R5D4. Just a really, really cool item with that additional apology note in Japanese, apologizing for the wrong name usage. Highest graded example according to the AFA population report. So it had a lot going for it, but I just couldn't make it happen. But a cool item. And then finally, I wanted to show this one. This, is an example of how everyone else was focusing on the main characters. Well, some of these lesser tertiary characters went for a song and a dance. This was an AFA 85 plus Hoth Rebel Soldier, and that's certainly an incredible item for the Japanese poppy, and it's super high grade, 85, 90, 85, or an overall 85 plus for this Japanese poppy, and it sold for $720 with the buyer's premium. That's another steal. So there's been 2 or 3 steals that I highlighted in this video relative to some of the other sales prices, especially for these poppies. Almost every poppy was $1,000 to $2,000, some of them above that, as I just showed you. But to get that one for $720, I could see that one selling ungraded for $720, and to get an AFA 85 plus for $720, that is a bargain. That is a bargain. So there were some good deals. You just had to keep your head on a swivel. But I did get a great item. I'm very, very excited about it. And whenever it gets here, I'll do an unboxing and show that, along with maybe a couple of other items that I've picked up here recently. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.